Hello Math Galing students! Welcome to another fun and exciting video lesson in mathematics. This is Teacher Mia. Come with me as we explore one of the topic in Mathematics 8, the axiomatic structures and theorems. Before we start our lesson, let's first have the guess and tell activity. Identify the postulate of the given illustration and state the postulate. I will give you 5 seconds to guess each illustration. Great! It's a straight line postulate. Next. Awesome! It's line intersection postulate. Very good! It's plane intersection postulate. Yes, it's a plane postulate. It's a flat plane postulate. After exercising your mind by recalling the different plane postulates, it's time to learn about one of the axiomatic structures in geometry, the theorems. Theorem is completely opposite of a postulate. These are statements that needs to be proven through using different undefined and defined terms, as well as postulates, logic, and other theorems that are already proven. The following are some theorems in geometry. Number 1, we have the midpoint theorem. If M is the midpoint of line segment AB, then AM is congruent to MB. So this is the illustration of the midpoint theorem. Next is the supplement theorem. If two angles form a linear pair, then they are supplementary angles. FYI, a linear pair are two angles which are adjacent and whose non-common sides are opposite rays, and supplementary angles are two angles whose sum is equal to 180. As you can see in the illustration of a supplement theorem, the angle ABD is supplementary to angle CBD. If we have the supplement theorem, of course we also have the complement theorem. This theorem states that if the non-common side of two adjacent angles form a right angle, then the angles are complementary angles. Take note, the adjacent angles are angles which have a common side and a common vertex, but no interior points in common. And the complementary angles are the two angles whose sum is equal to 90 degrees. As you can see in the illustration of a complement theorem, the angles EFH is complement to the angle GFH. And the two angles form a right angle which is angle EFG. Another theorem in geometry is the vertical angle theorem. It states that if two angles are vertical angles, then they are congruent. A vertical angles are two non-adjacent angles formed by two intersecting lines. So this is the illustration of a vertical angle. We have two angles, angle IOJ and angle LOK. The last one is the Pythagorean theorem. In a right triangle, the square of the length of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the length of the legs. A right triangle is a triangle that has a 90 degrees angle, and the hypotenuse is the side opposite of the right angle in a right triangle. So this is the illustration and the formula of a Pythagorean theorem. So in a right triangle, we have two legs and a hypotenuse. And the formula is equal to C squared equals A squared plus B squared. So those are the theorems in geometry. Again, we have the midpoint theorem, supplement theorem, complement theorem, vertical angle theorem, and the Pythagorean theorem. This time, let's have an activity. For the first one, we have the Who Am I activity. You state the theorem you would use to justify the statements made about each figure. For the second activity, we have pair me. Match each statement in column A with its corresponding theorem in column B. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something about the theorems. As I end this video, I will leave you a quote from Archimedes. Says that, "How many theorems in geometry which have seemed at first impracticable are in time successfully worked out." Have a great day!